what message did the entire scene, if you will, send from Trump going to the game to his saluting during the anthem to bringing back the pregame interview?
What happens when history, politics, and pop culture collide on the biggest stage in sports? Well, strap in, because this year's Super Bowl wasn't just about touchdowns and halftime shows. It was about one man stealing the spotlight and rewriting the script. Donald J. Trump. That's right, the former real estate mogul turned president became the first sitting U.S. president to ever attend the Super Bowl live, and let's just say his appearance caused quite the stir, both in the stadium and across the internet. But what really went down? Why were some people cheering so loud they nearly lost their voices, while others were booing so fiercely they might have been mistaken for jet engines? Let's break it all down.
Todd, it's amazing that that's the first U.S. president that we have seen at a Super Bowl out of the 59 Super Bowls that we have had.
First things first, Trump's attendance at Super Bowl 59 was nothing short of historic. No sitting president had ever dared to go to the Super Bowl before, and there are plenty of reasons why. Security concerns, logistical nightmares, and, let's be honest, the possibility of becoming the butt of a national joke if things went sideways. But Trump? He doesn't play by those rules. He's always been about breaking norms and doing what no one else dares to do, and this was no exception.
Just jealous of Taylor Swift because she has more followers and more money and no kids than he does.
Picture it, Air Force One touching down in New Orleans, Trump stepping off with his signature confidence, accompanied by some of his closest allies like Lindsey Graham and House Speaker Mike Johnson. From the get-go, it was clear this wasn't going to be just another day at the Super Bowl. While other presidents would have been advised to watch the game from the safety of the White House, Trump was front and center at the Caesars Superdome, soaking in the electric atmosphere. The man even managed to squeeze in an executive order during his flight, officially renaming February 9 as Gulf of America Day. Yes, you heard that right. He renamed the Gulf of Mexico during a Super Bowl trip. If that doesn't scream making the most of every moment, what does? And talk about an entrance. As the national anthem played and the camera panned to Trump, the crowd erupted into thunderous applause. A spontaneous chant broke out, "President Trump, we love you." It was a moment so surreal you'd think it was scripted for a blockbuster movie. Social media exploded with videos of the scene, with supporters dubbing it proof of the man's unmatched popularity. One fan even commented, "Trump is about to be 80 years old and he got more energy than me." Love him or hate him, you can't deny his ability to command a room, or, in this case, an entire stadium.
Head around it. The fact that Nixon wasn't there or Gipper, you know, Ronald Reagan never attended one, Bill Clinton, a big sports fan, George W. Bush, the fact that Donald Trump was there.
But not everyone was feeling the love that night. Enter Taylor Swift, who found herself at the center of another kind of storm. The pop superstar has been dating Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce since 2023, and her appearances at his games have been a media sensation. But this time, when the camera panned to her in the stands, the crowd's reaction was brutal. Swift was met with deafening boos, a stark contrast to the cheers Trump received just moments earlier. Why? Well, it seems a mix of politics and sports loyalty was to blame.
When you have 120 million people watching as a president, that is a layup. That is well, I guess layup's probably the wrong word here. That is a 1-inch touchdown.
While Swift has embraced her platform to champion progressive causes and support candidates like Kamala Harris, her pivot into the NFL spotlight has opened her up to a whole new audience, one that isn't necessarily on the same page politically. Football fans are notoriously passionate, and many align with a more conservative demographic. Swift's sudden leap into this space, especially as the girlfriend of a prominent player, seems to have created a cultural clash. Some critics online claimed she was overstepping by bringing politics into the sport, while others defended her right to stand by her beliefs and support her partner.
I don't think that's based on her musical abilities or fans. I think it's more just Eagles fans are so passionate about their team, and she's aligned with the Chiefs.
Adding fuel to the fire, rumors have swirled about tension between Swift and Kelce's teammates over her high-profile presence at games. While there's no confirmation of any actual drama, some fans speculated that her frequent appearances could be distracting for the team. She truly loves watching Travis play, a source told People, but the boos at the Super Bowl may hint that not everyone shares that sentiment. Whether it's a case of sports loyalty, political backlash, or simply fatigue from media overexposure, the reaction Swift received has undoubtedly sparked a larger conversation about the intersection of fame, politics, and America's favorite pastime.
We have to come together, but to come together, there's only one thing that's going to do it, and that's massive success. Success will bring the country together.
Interestingly, this wasn't the first time Swift found herself at odds with a crowd. Back in 2023, during a Chiefs game at the Patriots Stadium, she was also booed by fans who didn't appreciate her allegiance to Kelce's team. However, the Super Bowl's reaction felt bigger, louder, and far more personal. It raises the question, is Swift's presence at games uniting the NFL's fan base or dividing it further? And with her massive cultural influence, could her involvement in the league ultimately shift its traditional dynamics? These are questions that fans and analysts alike are now grappling with in the aftermath of Super Bowl 59. Swift has never shied away from speaking her mind, and her public endorsement of Trump's 2024 rival, Kamala Harris, didn't exactly endear her to his supporters. Some fans speculated the boos were a direct response to her political stance. She stepped outside her bubble for the first time and found out she's just as unpopular as Kamala, one commenter quipped online. Others suggested it was Eagles fans taking out their frustrations on Swift for supporting the opposing team, or maybe it was both. Either way, the moment was a stark reminder of how divided the country remains, even when it comes to something as seemingly unifying as football.
70% of the American people, 7 in 10, believe that Donald Trump will be successful in terms of keeping his campaign promises.
And Trump, he didn't miss the opportunity to weigh in. Taking to his favorite social media platform, Truth Social, he gleefully wrote, "The only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift. She got booed out of the stadium. MAGA is very unforgiving. It was classic Trump, part troll, part showman, and entirely unapologetic. Love him or hate him, the man knows how to keep himself in the headlines."
Now, so the future looks great with Donald Trump in terms of what he's saying he will do and what he actually is doing as far as the executive orders are concerned and everything else.
But let's circle back to the game itself. Trump, ever the entertainer, couldn't resist sharing his prediction before kickoff. In an interview with Fox News, he praised both teams, but ultimately sided with the Chiefs, citing their quarterback's phenomenal wife, who just so happens to be a self-proclaimed Trump supporter. "I watched this great quarterback who has, by the way, a phenomenal wife," he said. "She's a Trump fan. She's a MAGA fan, so I happen to love her, but she's a great person." And while Trump's choice didn't pan out, the Eagles soared to a 40-22 victory. It was clear he had his finger on the pulse of the cultural moment.
Crowd reaction. So Taylor Swift got popped up on the Jumbotron, as happens with these big stars, and here's what happened.
But the night wasn't just about touchdowns and political jabs. There was also the matter of the halftime show, headlined by none other than Kendrick Lamar. The rapper's performance was a bold, unapologetic celebration of Black culture, complete with backup dancers forming an American flag and lyrics that many interpreted as a critique of Trump's America. Some fans loved it, calling it a powerful statement during Black History Month. Others, particularly in Trump's camp, saw it as a not-so-subtle dig at the president. Former Congressman Matt Gaetz even took to social media to claim the performance was the regime's response to Trump's historic gains with Black men. And then there were the ads. From fast food chains doubling down on nostalgia to Nike's empowering tribute to women in sports, the commercials seemed to reflect a cultural tug-of-war. Some leaned into the progressive themes that have dominated recent years, while others, like Carl's Jr.'s return to its provocative roots, seemed to signal a shift back to more traditional and arguably controversial values. It was a microcosm of the larger cultural divide, playing out in 30-second bursts between plays.
Of course, the biggest loser of the night was not Travis Kelce, but his girlfriend, Taylor Swift. That's what Trump said in a post he made on social media thereafter, and he was not wrong.
Of course, no Super Bowl would be complete without a little controversy, and this year's game delivered in spades. Trump's critics wasted no time questioning the cost of his appearance, with some estimating it ran into the tens of millions when you factor in Air Force One, security, and other logistics. Supporters, however, brushed off the complaints, arguing that the president's presence was worth every penny for the historic moment it created.
More than half of the country, FAFO. You were in the FO part of your political endorsement phase.
And let's not forget the new dynamic kickoff rule, which Trump himself criticized as the worst part of the game. The entire field is frozen. Stiff, he wrote on Truth Social. College football does not do it and won't. Whose idea was it to ruin the game? It was a classic Trumpian move, mixing sports commentary with political undertones to rally his base. As the night came to a close and the Eagles celebrated their victory, one thing was clear. This Super Bowl wasn't just a game. It was a snapshot of America in 2025, a nation deeply divided yet undeniably captivated by the larger-than-life figures who dominate its headlines. Whether you were cheering for Trump, booing Swift, or just watching for the commercials, there was something for everyone and plenty to talk about the next day. So the question remains, was Trump's Super Bowl appearance a bold move that solidified his connection with everyday Americans? Or was it a costly spectacle that overshadowed the game itself? And what about Taylor Swift? Did the boos mark a turning point in her public image, or will she shake it off and continue to reign as pop's golden girl? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown. Until next time,